Hi there! Today is a very special day because IIain announced their new Air Multiband Filterbank, a new plugin so you can sculpt your sounds that's available for both standalone and desktop versions. Today I want to show you what this thing can do on live vocals, on a few synth sounds, and as a full track sculptor. I gotta say, I'm really happy with it, and if you have headphones, now it's time to put them on. Okay, so what you just heard was the MPC running live vocals and processing them through the Air Delay Pro, Air Reverb Pro, and Air Multiband Filterbank. And I'm pretty impressed that this thing can handle live vocals that well with no perceivable latency. Now, before I added the Multiband Filterbank, this is what it sounded like. Not bad at all. But thanks to the new filter, now I can really sculpt out my vocals. And I can get this very cool effect. And one thing that I really look out for when I'm exploring new synths and plugins is this inspiring, or does it make me want to make a song? And this thing led to me making that little tidbit that I just showed you. And that alone makes it very valuable to me. Okay, let's do a small rundown of what the Multiband Filterbank actually does, or what it can give you. You get a low band, a mid band, and a high band filter. Now, each one of these filters has cutoff, resonance, you get a pre-drive, so you get a little bit of saturation before it hits, and you get a level. You have also a global output. Each one of these filters can be either a low pass, a high pass, a band pass, a notch, or a peak filter. And what's really interesting is that all of them have envelope followers. Now, you can set these to follow either the low, the mid, or the high, and that makes it pretty flexible. Also, you get a few controls over here: the rise, the fall, and the gain of that envelope follower. Now, just to be clear, the gain doesn't affect your volume output. It's more how sensitive the envelope follower is to the incoming audio. So it's more like a CV signal than volume itself. Now, for full transparency's sake, IIain did send me a license for the multiband filter. That license is non-saleable. They didn't pay me, and they have no opinion or input in what I do or say in this video. This video does have a sponsor, that's Analog Cases. Ever wonder how and where I store all of my gear on the channel when it's not on my desk? Well, I keep it all safely stacked and protected from dust and my toddlers with Analog Cases. Analog Cases makes custom cases for most popular synths and groove boxes, as well as desktop stands, performance stands, and my favorite, the TrackPack Backpack, which can easily fit an Ableton Push 3 or an MPC Live 2, and was voted this year's most comfortable backpack to sleep in by Bruno, my ferret. Use my affiliate link in the description to get a discount on your next purchase, and don't miss out on their end of the year sale. This thing comes with a lot of presets, and this one is called Triple Peak. Now listen to the difference between my dry signal. I'm using this as a master effect, by the way. The mix is kind of muddy, not too much definition. Now listen what happens when I add the Multiband Filterbank. I can modify the crossover points. Now I'm going to give the mids a bit more pre-drive, and then give the highs more level. Immediately crispier than before. Now, another cool thing about this is that you can actually solo the bands. Here I'm soloing the low band, so I can modify this. I can go into the mid band, the same thing. Which, by the way, can be a performance aspect of it as well. Now, another very cool feature on this is the envelope follower, and I'm going to demonstrate a little tweak I did here. Okay, so nothing very special, right? I'm in the mid band, peak filter, and now I'm going to start modifying the mid band. I'm going to tweak the cutoff, and I'm going to give it a bit more pre-drive. I love me a good filter, but give me some modulation possibilities and that's where the fun starts. Now, let's try another track. Here I have a Polybrute synth going over a drum pattern. Let's listen to it without the filter. Nice but muddy. Now I'm going to use a preset called Drum Tighter. Hear that clarity? Now remember, I can modify crossover point to really fine-tune this. Now, another way to use this is as a straight up effect, not just as a sculptor, cleaner up of frequencies. This preset is called Mid-Range Grit, and this is what my piano sounds without the multiband filter. And this is what it sounds like with. Reminds me of that Chase Bliss pedal, Generation Loss. It's almost like an overdrive. And it's not just a utility, because as you can see here, you can really get some very interesting sound design capabilities out of this as well. Because just playing around with it, that simple patch, it's getting way more interesting. Also, let's not forget that all of this stuff is automatable, and with a new arranger on the MPC3, this thing is becoming extremely powerful. Basically, you can go in here and you can add automations for multiband filter output level, low crossover, high crossover, low band filter type, anything basically. You can just go nuts with this. Just set it that way. As a side note, I do have to add that being an MPC X or an MPC X SE user is really becoming a very sweet thing to be right now, because all the LEDs are really coming into play with all these new plugins. And for example, on the multiband, I can live tweak pretty much everything except the rise, fall, and the gain parameters. And that makes it a very performable plugin, which I really appreciate. Anyway, I hope that gave you a general idea of what this thing can do, what the possibilities are. Of course, the longer I use it, the more creative stuff I'll be able to do with it, and I hope to share with you soon. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful, or at least entertaining. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.